Hello, everyone. It is June 14th. It's currently 9:22 p.m. This is a pre-recorded live. Tonight we're going to talk about part two of of the Maddie Soto case. Tonight we're going to do two parts. So tonight is Stephan Sterns part one. We're going to dig deep into some of these affidavits, and then we're going to come back and do a real live, and we're going to do part two of the affidavits and who Stephan Sterns was and what he did to Maddie Soto, all the horrific things. And then Monday, the 16th, we're going to have a live dedicated to Jennifer Soto. So we'll be back on live Monday. I was supposed to come on live the other night, but I've been having some family things going on, so I've been taking care of that. I did film a pre-recorded live of Finny the Legend, but I got copyrighted, so I have to do it again. So, yeah. So if you don't remember about the case, I suggest you go back to part one of Madeline Soto, where we talked strictly just about Madeline Soto. It's going to be so many series. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 parts of Madeline Soto, because we did Maddie. We're doing 2 parts of Stephan Sterns. We're going to do Jennifer Soto, and then we're going to do the families and friends reaction when they found out what happened to Maddie and the whole world. So I think it's going to be a 6-part podcast. But tonight, let's talk about Stephan Sterns. Let's finish where we last left off. We're going to read a few affidavits. It's only going to be like a small little live. But when we come back, I want to say not tomorrow, because tomorrow's Father's Day. I know you guys might be busy. Probably Tuesday, we'll come back on live and we'll do the rest of the affidavits and everything, because Monday we'll be talking about Jennifer. And then I'll be uploading that Finny the Legend Finny the Legend story real soon. I just have to redo it because I got copyrighted. And it is crazy. That case just got crazier and crazier. So we left off here March 12th of 2024. The state's attorney's office filed 60 charges against Sterns, including multiple counts of actual battery and possession of child corn. And he had a pre-trial hearing scheduled for May 24th, and the trial was set May 13th. Later on, you're going to see that the trial ended up moving, and Stephan Sterns was waiving his rights to be seen in court. He was actually seen in court earlier this year, sometime, I think last week too, he was seen. We will talk about that as well. Forgot to do my disclaimer, but everything I say is all alleged in my opinion. It's all for educational purposes only. I get my resources from trusted news sources, I'm not responsible for anyone else's actions, comments, opinions, sources, whatever. So yeah. So they ended up arresting Stephan Sterns. Now, if you don't remember, Stephan Sterns is the boyfriend to Maddie Soto's mom, Jennifer Soto. We are going to have a live dedicated to Jennifer Soto and who Jennifer Soto was, and basically everything about Jennifer Soto. I tried to dig deeper into Stephan Sterns' life, but some of it has been locked, and I have to do FOIA requests. So I did put a FOIA request in, but I'm currently waiting on certain things. So once I get all that, we can come back on live and talk about it. So these are the images of Stephan Sterns when they were interviewing him. Of course, I'm not going to show it. I think this is his arrest affidavit. If it is, I have all that. This is Sterns. Now, if you don't remember, he was charged with 60 counts, including Maddie's unaliving, her tragic passing, and for doing actual things to Maddie. And they're just getting all his pictures and basically everything. Now, when the case came out in the very beginning, we didn't have access to these pictures. Now that the case is out there in the world, now we have access to these pictures and many of the security cams. So March 21st, 2024, Kissimmee Police Chief Betty Holland provides an update emphasizing the thoroughness of the investigation. I'm not going to show you the press conference, because the press conferences, I think it was the second and third, they didn't really give me any information, any detail or anything. Basically just saying they arrested Stephan Sterns, and that's all they had. April 4th of 2024, the medical examiner's office withholds the autopsy report due to confidentiality statutes, and the 911 call audio is released. When we talk about Jennifer Soto, I'll play the 911 call. Then April 24th of 2024, Stephan Sterns is indicted by a grand jury for the murder of Madeline Soto. Authorities discussed the calculated nature of his actions and have not yet decided on seeking the death penalty. So we're going to talk about Maddie's room, and then we'll get into some affidavits. So as you know, on February 29th of 2024, they did collect evidence from Maddie's room and they documented it. Now, if you don't remember, you can go back to part 1 where we actually saw the photos. That's her backpack, wrong one. The photos of her room. So if you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you go back and see part 1 where we talked about it. And we're going to talk about the sleeping arrangements either in this live, if not Jennifer Soto's live, because Jennifer does talk about the sleeping arrangements and it is kind of weird. Now, if you're new to the Maddie Soto case, you're going to find it very weird why a 13-year-old girl was sleeping in a bed with her mom's boyfriend, 13-year-old. And he's like a, 30, 40-something-year-old man. And to Jennifer Soto, she didn't think there was nothing wrong. So they did get a white-colored Kirby twist hair towel with multicolored cupcake designs hanging on divider 1. Basically, I'll let you guys read this real quick. It's basically just all the pictures we saw. If you haven't seen the pictures, I suggest you go back to part 1 because we actually took a look at the pictures. They collected some of her lady wears. And it's all, I'm not going to read that. They, on the top third drawer of the dresser, counting right to left, facing the dresser, they got some of her clothes like tank tops, t-shirts. This is basically just t-shirts right here, what they got. They collected miscellaneous items of clothing and 1 towel. So basically they took some clothes and the towel. So let's get into the first affidavit. I don't have these listed, but maybe I should go to, hold on, because they're all on Discord if you guys want to read them. Let's talk about the car for a little bit, and then we'll get into some affidavits. So, they looked into Jennifer's Nissan and Stephan Sterns' Lincoln MKZ. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Lincoln MKZ belonged to Stephan Sterns' father. Now, when Madeline Soto went missing, they were actually looking for this car. This is the car that Sterns was seen driving while Maddie, who we all know now was unalived and was deceased, sitting in the passenger seat. There was reports of PD saying that they actually had Maddie's deceased body kind of like, how do I say it? Like she was leaning forward, and that's how they presumed she was deceased. So they were actually looking for this car. I believe they ended up finding the car because they ended up doing like research on it. So inside the 2010 Lincoln MKZ car, deputies uncovered items. Give me a second. Sorry, I got a call. But they found items such as latex gloves, cloth gloves, a knife, towel, a rag, a blanket. According to the documents, other items such as white rope and a trash bag and a white towel were found in the vehicle's trunk. Detectives began looking into license plate readers throughout the Orange County and Osceola County. It was discovered that Sterns' vehicle traveled to St. Cloud the morning he supposedly dropped off Maddie at school. DOT cameras followed Sterns from Kissimmee to St. Cloud, where he turned south into Hickory Tree Road. Approximately 45 minutes later, Stephan's vehicle is seen traveling back through the intersection. Now having a spare tire in the vehicle, Detective Morris and I then traveled to St. Cloud to locate more video surveillance in an attempt to see where Sterns traveled after turning into Hickory Tree Road, but we were unable to locate any other Then Hickory Tree Elementary School, a subpoena was submitted for the video. So this is from a detective, basically. And this is the car. So I'm gonna let you look at the pictures. Like I said, when this case came out, we never had access to these pictures. Now we do. So this was the car that Stephan Sterns was driving, and the car that Maddie's body was seen in the passenger seat. And it's fishbowl. So when it's fishbowl, you can see anything. And this is Jennifer's car. Jennifer, I mean, off comment, but wash your damn car. Damn. I mean, props if you didn't. There could have been evidence. Uh-oh, hang on. Okay, I thought that was for me. Jen's car is all beat up. Oh, that's it? So this is, I guess, this is when they were searching for evidence. I don't know where this is, but these are pictures we haven't seen, so let's look at them together. I think this is where they were in a wooded area, I guess, or something. I'm not sure. Like I said, when the case came out, we never saw any of these pictures. So this is new to me, like it's new to you. I think this is the trash when they were doing the trash. Yeah, this is the trash from the apartment complex, or where they were staying at, because there's Maddie's shoe and bag. I think, or well, it's showing storages now. So he had, I guess, a storage. There's his tire. Or is this near Maddie's body? I'm not really sure. They didn't label it. I guess he had a storage. What is this? The timeline? So we'll actually do the timeline. This is Maddie's timeline from what they did. So we'll do this timeline on Jennifer's, because it does ask about Jennifer. So we'll do Maddie's timeline on Jennifer. Let's do Stephan Sterns. Stephan Soto? I think they meant Stephan Sterns. And then this will be, we can talk about this. I mean, it's a lot. I do want to at least read some. See, I have all these right here to talk to you guys about. I haven't even opened them. That's the thing. Especially this one. I'm kind of nervous to open this. So let's do Stephan Sterns' timeline. And then, of course, where is it? We'll do this one, which is the evidence timeline on Jennifer's, and this one as well on Jennifer's. Because Jennifer, we're going to have a lot of things. We're going to see even her interrogation, like some of it. Not all of it. I do, on part 2, want to see at least some of Stephan Sterns' interrogation. It's like 2 hours, but I might get copyrighted, so I'm only going to play some of it, and the rest, if you want, we can do like a Discord watch together and watch the whole thing and talk about it. So if you haven't already, join my Discord. So let's do the lot. Oh, this is Maddie's. Wrong one. This is Stephan's. Okay. So this is Stephan Sterns' timeline. I'm assuming from what he told PD. Hang on, guys. Okay. So at 7:30 a.m., Stephan is seen driving the vehicle to the dumpster in Ventea Bay. I think that's the dumpster we saw. Stephan is wearing a red shirt and tan pants. Stephan exits the vehicle and throws 2 large white trash bags. In the passenger seat of Stephan's vehicle is a white female wearing a green sweatshirt with her head slumped over to the left. From what we gathered now, we know that's Maddie. So that was Maddie they're describing. The position of the female does not appear to be normal, and she does not move while Stephan is exiting or entering the vehicle. The female appears to be Maddie. It's Maddie. He had Maddie's lifeless body sitting in the passenger seat. Fishbowl and everything. 7:35 a.m. Stephan is seen on complex camera with throwing something in the complex dumpster, which would later be Maddie's backpack and her school laptop. 7:50 a.m. Stephan left the complex with victim and U-turned to Churchtown Loop / Hunter Park. 8:10 a.m. LPR at SB. So basically just his car. Stephan is driving south on John Young Parkway approaching Tacker Avenue. Madeline is still in the front passenger seat in the same position. 8:19, Stephan enters Vienna Bay and exits the rear to the complex at 8:31. Madeline is still in the front passenger seat in the same position. Stephan drops off at Town Loop Lilac Cove. Hang on, guys. Sorry, the dogs fell, so I had to go see what was going on. Okay, at 8:39, his car is on camera at EB Osceola Parkway / Thacker. At 8:40, he does a U-turn on Tube Loop / Huntwick to the smoke shop. At 8:48, on a red light camera, he was seen. 9:01, Stephan is driving north to International Drive in Central Florida Parkway. Maddie's still in the front passenger seat in the same position. This confirms that Stephan did not drop off Maddie at or near school, like he stated. On my neck. Hang on, guys. Sorry, people are texting me. I tell them I have a podcast and they still text me. At 9:05, on a red light, he was seen. At 9:16, he was on camera at a business. At 9:35, Stephan is driving into the parking garage of 9271 South John Young. Why did I say Youth Parkway? Stephan drives up to the second level and parks near the northeast corner of the lot. Stephan backs his vehicle into the parking space by the stairs. Stephan exits his vehicle and walks towards the rear of his vehicle and opens the trunk. At 9:41, Stephan is seen placing Madeline, who is wearing the green sweatshirt and blue pants, in the trunk of his vehicle. Then he leaves the parking garage. So he enters a parking garage and he just basically throws Maddie's lifeless body in the trunk. At 10:14, Stephan enters the Vienna Bay through the east gate of the complex. Madeline is no longer seen in the front passenger seat of the vehicle, so she's in the trunk. At 10:17, Stephan makes a call. 10:54, Stephan is seen driving to the dumpster, where he throws away more trash. At 11:03, the phone begins moving from the apartment. I do have the phone tracking ping. If you guys want to see it, it is on my Discord. Well, it's on here too, on Crime Timeline, but it's on my Discord if you guys want to see it. We'll talk a little bit about it on part 2. At 11:22 a.m., Stephan drives to 13651 South John Young Parkway, which is the smoke vape shop. He makes a purchase and then he leaves. Stephan vehicles then travels to Highway 192 towards St. Cloud, Florida. His vehicle is captured on several traffic cameras, as well as license plate readers. Stephan is driving south to Old Hickory Trail Road. He passes Hickory Tree. He passes an elementary at 117. At 211, he's driving west to Highway 192 from Old Hickory Tree Road. Stephan's vehicle now has a spare tire on the rear driver's side of the vehicle. So between 217 and 211 is when he actually made it to where Maddie's body, he made it to the spot that he dumped Maddie's body. That's where the witness said that he saw somebody changing their tire. So between that time frame, that's what he was doing. He was disposing of Maddie's body, and then he was changing his flat tire, and that's when someone had saw him. At 321, Stephan is seen throwing items in the dumpster in Benea Bay. 410 goes to Grandma's workplace and drives around Grandma's work and the school looking for victim. So between 320 to 410, this is where Jennifer had to get the call saying that, Maddie never went to school, blah, blah, blah. So now he's playing the concerned person, and he's pretending to look for Maddie, but really he knows where Maddie is. 4:30 realizes victim is missing and calls victim's friend to see if victim went to school, then returns to Grandma and goes to victim's phone. 4:36 on video, Stephan's seen putting tire in the apartment complex dumpster, so he's throwing tires. So I think the pictures we saw were from the dumpster at the apartment complex. At 4:43, they call 911 to report Maddie missing. At 6, they go back to the apartment. 7:37, deputies arrive. 11:02, his phone is shut off. Keep in mind, this is where he starts saying he factory reset his phone. All right. So literally the next day, the day Maddie so-called went missing, the day Maddie tragically was deceased, was February 26th. Now the next day, February 27th, at 12 a.m., his phone was reset. So Stephan Sterns factory resetted his phone, thinking that the police were not going to find the horrible acts he did to Maddie. But little do you know, PD can still get what they can, even if you factory reset. Keep that in mind. So 11:16 a.m., an interview with Stephan, and then an interview with Maddie's friends from school. 3:20, command post is initiated. 3:30, daytime chase flyover. 3:18, Jennifer's vehicle is seen driving east on Highway 192 through Kissimmee to St. Cloud, Florida. The vehicle takes the same exact path as Stephan. Now, it's a little bit weird if it was Jennifer Soto who did pass through Old Hickory Tree Road, or it could have been Stephan using Jennifer's car. I don't know if it'll tell me here, but I know when the case came out, everyone was like, it could have been, maybe Jennifer did know and Jennifer passed by to check, or it could have been Stephan. Jennifer's vehicle is seen driving south on Old Hickory Trail Road from Highway 192. 409, the vehicle is then seen again turning west on 192 from Old Hickory Trail Road at 4:09 hours. 7:50, code red was requested. 8 o'clock, they seized Stephan's phone. 8:12, initial PRTT for victim. Social media has negative return. They had a code red at 8:38. 8:38, the K9 did a track, which was negative. So I have a feeling maybe allegedly it was Stephan who was using Jennifer's car just to go check out the scene. Hang on. Oh man, I'm so tired. Okay. So this is February 28th. At 1 a.m., the vehicle was towed from OPS. So this has to be Stephan Sterns' vehicle. I'm still a little iffy on how they were looking for Stephan Sterns' vehicle. I don't remember if he dumped it somewhere. I don't remember. It was a blur, but together we'll figure it out. If we don't figure it out here on part 1, we'll figure it out on part 2. 4:35 a.m. on camera, Stephan leaves the hotel through the front lobby, photo gathered by X Crimes. So I think they ended up taking him in and talking to him. This is the timeline of Stephan. We're going to go more into detail on this. at 6:34 a.m. to 7:09, logged into Google at Christopher Sterns, which is his father's address. So I guess he was going to talk to his dad, or he logged in through his dad's computer. At 7:28 a.m. on camera, Christopher Sterns seen leaving the hotel through front lobby. Photo gathered by X Crimes. 11:45 a.m. Executed search warrant on the Lincoln. 12:44 Hickory Tree Road. Tire was found. 3:30 Stephan and somebody were brought into the Central OPS Nissan was taken to custody. I think Stephan and Jennifer. I think. 405 Detective Ballards located the victim's backpack with laptop notes, Crocs inside the dumpster located in the apartment complex. And a piece of tire was recovered at this time. At March 1st, Detective O'Malley, he did an interview. And then at 4:47, they ended up finding Maddie's body at the Hickory Tree Road. This timeline, we're going to do this on Jennifer's. But I do want to get into depth on some of these affidavits. So one of the affidavits is a divorce, I'm assuming, of Deborah and Christopher Sterns. I haven't seen this. We're going to look into it. Let's see, guys. We're going to go into some of these, and then we're going to finish this on Tuesday. So this is Deborah C. Sterns and Christopher Sterns are Stephan Sterns' parents. I'm guessing this is a divorce, or they're getting remarried. And the remarriage of, I really don't know. This was back in 1997. So Crime Timeline, actually, shout out to Crime Timeline. They got everything. I'm trying to see what this is. Dissolution of marriage. I think this is their divorce. So this is Stephan Sterns' parents' divorce. I'm assuming, allegedly. Now, if you guys want to see this, you can go to Crime Timelines and you could read the whole divorce if you want to read the divorce letter. I'm assuming it's divorce. And if not, you can go to my Discord. It's all on there. So this was back in 1998. This is another affidavit. I have to be very careful because I don't know what this is. I'm new to this, just how you guys are new to this. All it says is this right here. So I really don't know what this is. Is it basically the parents are fighting for Stephan Sterns? Could this be it? Like custody or whatever? If you guys know what this is, let me know. It's on my Discord. I'm assuming allegedly this could be child. I don't really know what this is. This is back in 99, order appointing guardian Stephan Sterns. Okay, so yeah, it was for guardianship. Hang on, yeah. Okay, so I guess this was for guardianship from his father. So his father is the petition of Christopher Sterns for the appointment of the guardian property of Stephan Sterns. So Stephan was still young. So this is guardianship. So I guess the dad's asking for guardianship of Stephan. That's all it's going to tell me. So like I said, if you guys want to see all this is in my Discord, or you guys can go to Crime Timeline. Letter of guardianship of the property. So I don't think we really need to know about this, but I'm just showing you guys. Deborah. Okay, so this is the mom. Like I said, if you guys want to see this, this is all. I'm trying to exit. This is all on True Crime Line or Crime Timelines. He was in an accident back in '99. It literally has everything. Okay, so let's do one affidavit for tonight, and then we're gonna do the rest because we literally. I'm not kidding you. We have a lot to talk about on part 2. And then we still got to do Ms. Jennifer Soto. Jeez. All right, so it's a lot of affidavits. So let's do one affidavit. Let's do this one for tonight. And then, of course, we're going to do the rest on part 2. And then we're going to talk about Jennifer on Monday. We're only going to do some of it because, as you saw, it's 419 pages. And that's a lot of pages. Oh, they couldn't load. All right. So this is redacted. A lot of it's redacted. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're only going to read, oh man, this page. And then we'll read 3 pages. And then we'll finish this off on Tuesday with the whole live where we'll go over the affidavits. Because some of it is regarding like Maddie's friends. So like I said, when it comes to Maddie's friends and the family, I do want to do a separate live on them and how they reacted, what they said and everything. So I do want to do that. And like too, we're going to get other eyewitnesses. So even from the apartment complex, I do want to do that on the other part. So I have to get this affidavit sorted out. So we're only going to read 3 pages. So let's read this one. So on 2/27, at approximately 23:55, Officer Clark responded to redacted in reference an attempt to locate and reference the missing juvenile, aka Maddie, was actively investigating by the Orange County Sheriff. Officer Clark was informed that Maddie was reported missing to OCSO due to her last known location being near Hunter Creek Middle School, where she was reported dropped off. Officer Clark was requested to make contact with the family and advised if Maddie returned home. Officer Clark spoke with Jennifer Soto, which is Maddie's mom, and Stephan Sterns, who is Jennifer's boyfriend, who provided an initial statement regarding the circumstances of the missing persons investigation. For further information on the Clark's initial response, as OCSO detectives continued their investigation, evidence of actual battery that occurred at Madeline's residence in Kissimmee were identified. Officer Clark's initial report / case number was utilized was utilized to document and charge the actual battery investigation. On 2/29/24, an arrest warrant was signed and entered for Stephan for actual battery based on that investigation. March 1st of 2024, they continued to investigate. In conjunction with Kissimmee, identified that Maddie was likely the victim of homicide and that Stephan Sterns was the subject, and it was also believed that this homicide likely occurred at the Kissimmee home. The separate case number was generated on March 1st. Okay. If you want to read the whole thing tonight, it's on my Discord or go to Crime Timelines. On March 2nd at approximately 12:22, Officer Angelo, was dispatched to make a phone call for additional information. I made contact with the caller, James Carpenter, over the phone, who stated he had surveillance video of his parents' residence at 4814 Hickory Tree Road, St. Cloud. James stated the video was showing a silver sedan going westbound on Hickory Tree Road on February 26, 2024 at 13:20. James stated he believed the vehicle to be matching the description of the vehicle involved in the case. So they have surveillance footage of Stephan's car that day he dumped Maddie's body. At 2:29 at approximately 6, Detective Madeline Soto responded to redacted. My assignment was to safeguard the location and prevent any entries inside. I remained at this point until approximately 14 hours. Excuse me. So on March 4th of 2024 at 15:08, Officer Carly responded to 8 North Stewart Avenue in reference to administering a photo line for detectives of major crimes. Upon my arrival, I met with Detective Corporal and was tasked to administer a photo lineup to the witness, Thomas Karras. I read the photo lineup instructions. He told me he understood. I left the interview room. Moments later, Karras advised me he completed the photo lineup and was able to select photo 5 at the person who he saw on the side of the road. So this is the person that saw Stephan Sterns on the side of the road changing his tire. Remember, Stephan Sterns got a flat tire not that far from where he dumped Maddie's body, and someone saw him. I provided Detective Corporal with this information. I had no previous knowledge of the case. I had no other involvement in this case. I submitted the photo lineup. Yada, yada, yada. So the person did identify Stephan Sterns. I guess we'll read this. So March 1st at approximately 10:30, Detective Fernandez and I responded to Venetian Bay apartment and were tasked with knocking on doors to get additional information. So they went around the apartment complex to get information. So they responded to 2250 San Vita Drive, Building 14, Apartment 101. No one answered. 102, they spoke with Carlos Fernandez, who's from Puerto Rico. He advised he had not seen Maddie and was leaving back to Puerto Rico. 103, nobody answered. 104, spoke with Debbie and Ken, who advised they had not seen Maddie and don't know her and did not see any of the suspects' vehicles. 105, nobody was there. 106, they spoke with Sandra, who advised she had not seen Maddie or the suspects' vehicles. Apartment 107, they spoke with Chrissy. They hadn't seen Maddie or the vehicles. 108, they spoke with Melissa, who, same thing, didn't see Maddie or the vehicles. Then they went to 2 other apartment complexes in Building 41. Apartment 101 and 102 didn't answer. Apartment 103, they spoke with Ryan, who said they didn't see Maddie or the vehicles. 104, nobody answered. Arrived at the location. Okay, so apartment 105, they spoke with Emily, who advised she had never seen Maddie and seen Jennifer's vehicle for about 2 weeks. 106, nobody answered. 107, they spoke with Jesus, who advised he had not seen Maddie or the vehicle. Jesus checked his ring camera with negative results. They spoke with Alida, who advised she hadn't seen Maddie or the vehicle. They went to a different building. 2 apartment buildings, nobody answered. Same thing, they went to another one, nobody answered. Building 54, Alexis didn't see anything. Apartment 102, nobody answered. 103, they spoke with Josh. He hadn't seen Maddie or the vehicles. So basically, nobody has really seen Maddie or the vehicles. That's pretty much what we're getting here. They went literally all around the apartment complex asking, and nobody had seen Maddie. Okay, they go to 1, building 57. 101, they got a voice recording, and they uploaded it to evidence.com. I wonder if it'll show the voice recording on here if I look for it tonight. 102, they spoke with Candy, who advised she had seen the silver Lincoln but does not remember when. They spoke to Hugo, Hilamar, Fabia, and Karen, and they all haven't seen Maddie or the vehicle. Fabia checked her ring camera, but she had no recordings. It was facing the lake. Okay. So at 2:29, the Kissimmee police, along with Orange County, were working together in reference to locate 13-year-old Maddie, who was later found deceased on March 1st. On this evening at approximately 19:30, ICE Sergeant Christopher Bierer of the Kissimmee PD responded to blank Kissimmee, Florida, in reference to them assisting in the interview with the female who resided in this address. Upon my arrival, I met Detective Mark Morris. Detective Morris explained to me that he wanted to interview the roommate, who identified as blank, but she only spoke Spanish. Detective Morris wanted me to translate this question from English to Spanish. We both then met with blank and explained who we worked for, and the reason we wanted to interview was because we were looking for Maddie, who on that date was still missing, and she agreed to speak to them. Prior to speaking with us and answering questions, blank raised her right hand and placed the oath. The questions that were asked to blank was in reference to her observance when she lived in this location, her observance of a male who that would frequent his location, whose name is Stephan Sterns, and her observance between Stephan and Maddie. So this has to be an old roommate, I'm assuming, of Jennifer that stayed there. We're going to talk about the sleeping arrangements on Jennifer's life. The questions that were asked by Detective Morris and the transition that I provided were recorded by Detective Morris. A written statement was not obtained at the time due to blank providing a sworn verbal statement. Does it have her statement? So on this one, basically this officer went to the apartment complex and he was there to get copies of videos, talk to staff. That's basically what this officer did. I'm trying to read it. Okay, so we're going to stop here, because I think some of this we don't need to read. It's just like the cops were putting tape or doing something. So I'm going to have to tonight. I'm going to have to see which part of the affidavits we need to read and what we don't need to read. But if you want to read the whole affidavits, it's on my Discord. I wrote a crime timeline. So that's what we're going to do. Hold on, let me go to my Discord. Oh, excuse me. So this is just literally part 1 of the Maddie Soto. But this is part 2 of Maddie Soto, part 1 of Stephan Sterns. So I know I didn't really get into real detail about it, but we are going to come back Tuesday, and we are going to talk more about Stephan Sterns. We're going to read more affidavits because there's a lot of affidavits we need to read. Basically, the one I read you tonight. Hold on. Yeah, so some of it involves like the roommates that were living with Jennifer. That one I'm going to do for the last part. Because like I said, we're going to do a last part where it's like family members, friends, roommates, where they talk about the case and what they said to officers. So let me see. So tonight I'm going to have to see which is which. What is this? Yeah. So basically, you see, I also have to be very careful because some of these aren't redacted. Like this one had his social security not redacted. Like, okay. Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna have to see because there's a lot of. Some of it's even Jennifer Soto's. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end it here at 46 minutes. This is part 1. I know we didn't really get to like the nit-grit of Stephan Sterns. We talked a little bit about Stephan Sterns. Part 2, I do want to come on live with you guys and do where you guys get, like, I want your guys' reaction. So I'm going to do a part 2 on Tuesday. I'm going to set it up tonight. And we're going to go more into detail on some of these affidavits and Stephan. Now, if you haven't seen part 1, please go see part 1. This is just a quick little live. On part 2, we read some of the affidavits. We saw some pictures. But yeah, if you guys want to see the whole affidavits, it's all on my Discord or crime timelines. I know tonight's live was a little scrambled, but Tuesday we'll get into it like a real live. Monday we have a live on Jennifer Soto. We're going to talk deep about Jennifer Soto. We're going to read her written statement, see her interrogation, pretty much everything on Jennifer Soto. And then we'll come back to Stephan, then we'll talk about the family, and then we're going to conclude it on the live, and then, yeah. So I will see you guys Monday for Jennifer Soto's live. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. I hope you have a great Sunday and have a great Father's Day. If you're a father, if you're hanging out with your dad, your grandpa, whoever it may be, y'all be safe. There's a lot of protests going on. If you're going to protest, please protest peacefully. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.